Supposed to be a steering wheel here. Where I come from, there is anyway. Morning, how you doing? I don't even know what time it is. It's 8:30. 8:30 on a Friday morning. It's supposed to be a steering wheel here somewhere, I think. But I think it's on the other side, over this place. Shelley's got an appointment. So I'm just hanging around waiting for her. And I thought, well, I may as well say hello to you lot. May as well get some editing done on my phone today. It's going to be another phone one to see, so how it goes. You know, some of you are aware that it's from the main channel. It's been a rush visit back for a couple of days because it's Tony's birthday. He's ripe old age is 60 and they're having a party for him tonight. So we've flown back for it. Tony's Shelley's disabled brother. So he's really looking forward to his party. So that's tonight. It's going to be a bit of an interesting one though, because I'm going to go and pick my daughter up from Newcastle from the north and then take her home tonight as well. So I'm not going to be drinking. And then we're getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning the following day to get the flight back to Tenerife to go home. So we've been lucky with the weather. The weather's just been damp, no rain, not even cold. It's been about 9-10 degrees. I've obviously fully wrapped up, but it's not really been that too bad, to be honest with you. I thought it could have been a lot worse. But just really a couple of things to talk about what's going on. Spanner in the works. Got thrown a spanner in the works yesterday with the house. For those of you who might be aware from the main channel, we're talking about moving home, and we've found a place, and we're most probably moving there from the 1st of March. So I put, as always, what you do when you're renting, you put a month's notice in to let them know that you're leaving. I did that, and I sent the email there last Sunday. I didn't get a reply, which was a bit weird, because the person that I normally deal with, it's a company in Spain that's got hundreds of properties. She's normally pretty on the ball. So my sister knows her as well, so I asked my sister, who's better Spanish than fluent than I am, can she give him a call? Turns out the lady's off work, but her boss has seen it, the email, which is the owner of the company. And then she threw a bit of a spanner in the works. She said, well, listen, the issue that we've got is the house that you're looking at leaving, the one what we live in at the moment, the sale's fallen through. So again, the house is not for, well, it's still for sale, but the people who wanted to buy it's fallen through. And she said, well, if Rick's interested in staying there, we promise that we won't bring any clientele through for the next 6 months. So in other words, we get 6 months of peace without people walking backwards and through the house, you know, to come and look at it every couple of weeks, really it was. They've sacked the estate agent that was there. He was useless anyway, but he was just throwing anybody in. We had people coming in. The house is supposed to be worth 350 grand. And we had people coming through that clearly couldn't afford it, just to have a look and a mooch, which just puts you massively out of, you know, your way, which you can imagine. But if you're in a rented house, they're trying to sell it, you understand part of it, but the other side of it's, hang on a minute, you're taking the mick here. So one time somebody turned up and they went, oh, is this where Rolo lives? I'm like, you've just come out to see the dog. Get out. So we spoke about the estate agent a few times, and he was useless. He was just, because there's massive commissions. So all he was considering was how many people he can get in the house, so hopefully one sticks. You know, throw enough at the ball, and then maybe something will stick. So this is obviously falling through again. So then I spoke with my sister, and she said, look, you know, have a think about this, because what you could also do is you could mostly get a rental decrease, because if we leave, there's going to be nobody going in there. So it might be a question we can actually organise a rental decrease, which could be interesting. But then it might be a case where we might be able to do it on a rent to buy ourselves, even though I've still got the house here in the UK. It might be, I'd only consider doing that if it's maybe on a rental to buy issue. So there's a few things going around at the moment. The flip side of it is the person that we're going to get the house from in Callao is a friend of ours, and I don't want to let him down either. So I've got to try and make the decision quick of what we're going to do, because I don't want to leave him out to dry. It took Shelley 3-4 months to find this place to live, and you know, 6 months before you know it's going to be here, and then they're going to start traipsing people through again. So what do? Do you just go, no, we'll just leave? The idea of the rent to buy is not a bad one either. We were talking about that, because that actually sounds really good. But I said, what's the point if we stretch ourselves too far on a rent to buy, knowing that the house needs new electrics, new kitchen, new bathroom? And she said, oh yeah, we can do that over time. I said, yeah, but what happens if that time takes so long that you actually don't have a chance to actually enjoy living there? Because you already know that this needs doing, that needs doing, the other thing needs doing. So you stretch yourself too far, then you don't actually have the finances to be able to complete or get yourself over the line. So maybe pushing it out too far. So I don't know about that. I don't know which is the best way to go with that one. It's a bit of a up in the air at the moment to see which way it is. If any of you got any housing experiences, it'd be interesting to see what you think. If you want to put them in the comments below, what you think you'd do. The options really I've got at the table at the moment are still carry on, complete the move and go to Kaliosavaki, which also, by the way, is round the corner from the island, past Las Americas, past Adeje, which then means it's warmer, less wind, less traffic, less time to get to work and back, because our offices are most probably Playa de Las Americas, Los Cristianos, that's where we're working. So it's got all these things going for it. The thing against it is the house is smaller, definitely smaller. Big enough for me and Shelley, but definitely smaller. It is on a complex, which means you're more on top of each other. Whereas what we've got is got quite a good land grab at the moment. The area we've got seems to be quite, we're quite happy with that, quite private. So that's the first option, go to Kalios. Second option, Kaliosavaki. Second option is see if we can get a rent decrease, but then maybe in 6 months' time, think about somebody's still going to be coming around looking at the house because it's still going to be on the market to sell. Or the third option is to see if we can actually try and get ourselves into a rent-to-buy position with it. But if we do that, are we pushing ourselves too far over the limit? It's like saying, I always remember when I worked in Holland, it was I was teaching golf and it was the fastest growing sport. So we had a lot of wealthy people coming in. A lot of, I call it old money, the people that for years and they own these massive, massive houses, like, these estates of houses. And you could see that the wealth was from years gone by, but these houses were falling into becoming derelict because they didn't actually have the money to do the upkeep on the house. So the clothes that they were wearing were, very, very thick woolen clothing, like that sort of jackets and that, but becoming a bit threadbare because you could see the wealth of it, but you could see the fact that they didn't have the money to be able to keep it up and running. So I don't want to be in that position where we've bought the house. Oh, yeah, it's a dream house, but we can't do anything with it. And that's the issue that we've got there. So I don't know. It's a tough one. Flip side, you might see, by the way, just completely different topics. There's a car that's just pulled up at the side of me. It's a lot smaller. There's a lot more smaller cars in the UK that I've noticed now, mostly because of the cost of the fuel. I think with the cost of the fuel crisis that's going on, or cost of living, a lot more people are driving smaller cars. I'm in a little 107, which I keep in the UK. I know it sounds decadent, but I keep here because when my youngest passes a driving test, this car will be going to her. But there's a lot more of these smaller cars floating around, which is weird to see. We had 4 people in this car the other day, last night. So anyway, that's what it is. That's where we're at. Back in the sunshine tomorrow. I'm looking forward to going back home. It's been nice to come here, but it's been a bit of a whirlwind. It's been a lot's happened in the short space of time that we're here. And it's also very weird for me to be here and my eldest daughter to be actually back in Tenerife. That's a weird one as well, weird thoughts. So, yeah, I don't know. I know I can hear myself just talking and rambling, but it's most probably a rambling one. It's, 8:30, just gone 8:30, so it's been a bit, it's a bit early, isn't it? It's a bit early. But anyway, that's where we're at. I hope you're hope you have a good weekend. 1,300 subscribers, thank you so much. Appreciate that. It's growing. It's a nice little pace that I quite like. Don't really have anything else to say, so I'm not really I don't talk for the sake of talking. Maybe I do. See you on the next one. You know what to do.